Okay, this is a 6-week update. I skipped a week, but the Pawpaw seeds have had some interesting developments. So one of the more interesting developments is that I'm still getting a lot of sprouts. Now I'm just kind of leaving them in here, so I'll comb through here every few days and I'll just put them back as soon as I discover that one has been sprouted. I also received another pound of seeds, and I planted them, but these ones are not cleaned as well, so I'm starting to get some mold issues. I'm actually not really sure if the mold is going to affect these. I can see the mold is on the outside of the seed, but they're not squishy. They don't really seem to be affected otherwise, just having some white fuzz on the outside. I'm hoping maybe that they're sealed off and the mold doesn't actually affect their germination, but who knows. On the 2 trays that I sowed out, you can see that some of the seeds are starting to poke through, so that's pretty cool. The others, I'm assuming, are just growing more roots downward before they're poking out of the soil. It is kind of cold down here. I think I'm holding maybe 63 or 65 degrees. So something about the seeds that I've been noticing is I feel like you can tell the viability of them by the slight translucence to their shell, and you can see the outline of the embryo inside. A lot of the dead ones I pulled out of the bag that I disposed of were completely black, but all these light-colored ones seem to have their viability still, and all the ones coming up from the soil have that quality as well. Okay, so here's a good example. Kind of difficult to see through the camera, but you can kind of see there's 2 faint outlines on either side. That's the embryo inside of the seed. So this seed, I think, is still viable, despite it being covered in the mold that we saw in the tray earlier. When I flip around the seed, you can see the end is still sealed, and if I squeeze the seed, it doesn't have any give to it at all. Anyways, I'm hoping that I get a lot higher of a germination rate on these, considering I'm not going to let the temperature climb so high. I've had these at 80 degrees rather than, an unchecked, possibly over 105 degrees that my other setup was getting. If these do sprout, I'm expecting them to follow the same kind of curve that the other seeds followed, which was at around 3 weeks, most of the seeds are viable sprouting, and then a few stragglers here and there. Pretty soon I'll be starting the persimmon seeds, and that'll be a whole nother adventure.